everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Quoted by Tiff. This is episode 8, and today we're going to be talking about letting things go. Just let it go. I think sometimes in life we become complacent with certain situations, certain people. We get afraid to move forward because we think this is all we can get. And I'm here to tell you that sometimes when you are holding on to the wrong things, whether it's people, places, addictions, just ways of being, you are hindering your own growth. If you are wondering why you cannot move forward or you feel like nothing is working, I can most definitely guarantee there is something in your life that you need to let go that you are refusing to let go of. So today I'm just going to share my experiences with you guys, and I'm also going to give you guys a few tips on how to let things go. Sometimes you just have to let things be. Everything is not supposed to stay in your life permanently, and it's up to you to take inventory on your life to figure out what's supposed to stay and what's supposed to go. So, as always, I'm always kind of funny about sharing my perspective with you guys, but I'm going to do it anyway because I feel like it can help somebody out there, and I've already been through it, so why not share it? So, without further ado, here we go. Okay, so guys, when I say let it go, I think I need to be more specific. So, I'm going to let's use an addiction, for example, because that's pretty universal. I think when people think about addictions, they think about like, oh, drugs, alcohol. And although those can be addictions, people can be addictions too. Situations can be addictions too. And also food, among other things, can be addictions. Anything can be an addiction if it activates that part of your brain that rules addiction. So let's talk about addictions. People specifically. I think a lot of times people don't realize that you can literally be addicted to a person to the point that they're like a drug. Even though this person may not be the person for you or the person that's the most healthiest for you, you get addicted to people, whether it's addicted through sex, or whether it's addicted through money, whether it's addicted to a feeling, how a person makes you feel. You can get addicted to people, and sometimes you become so addicted to somebody that you become blinded to who they really are, and that's dangerous, especially if it's a person that's abusive. It's really not good to not be aware of how someone is making you feel. Really, sometimes we ignore how we feel and go with how we go with how we want to feel instead of how we actually feel. So, for example, when I hear I was in an abusive relationship for years. And when I hear people say, oh, why don't she just leave? Or why don't they just leave? Anybody who has been in an abusive situation, a really abusive situation, understands that it's not that simple. It's not easy to just, oh, you can leave whenever you want to. Of course you can leave whenever you want to. Everybody has free will. But when you're not accustomed to letting things go, or you don't want to let it go, you let things go on, even if it's toxic. And I think a lot of times we forget that people are addictions. People can be addictions. I can be an addiction to somebody. Somebody else can be an addiction to me. And I feel like once you are self-aware that that person is an addiction, it becomes easier for you to let it go. One of the things that I always do is I like to sit down and actually write down what I like about someone. So if I feel like that I'm becoming kind of addicted to somebody, or kind of, I don't know, obsessive or whatever, I sit down literally with a piece of paper and a pen, and I write down the things I like about them. And then I also write down the things that I don't like about them. For me, when I see things written down on paper, that makes it kind of official to me. So when I write it down and I actually look at it, and then I see like this person has more things that I don't like than what I do like. Now, why am I still dealing with them again? It starts to make me question my own thinking, which in turn starts to make me transform my thinking to let that person go. That's my little tip on that. When you feel like you can't let go of somebody for whatever reason, just write it down. Write down the things that you like about them, the things that you don't like about them. Be very honest with yourself, because this only works if you're going to be honest with yourself, y'all. Now, And if that list of things that you don't like outweighs the things that you do, you already know what time it is. It's time for you to let it go. Nobody said it's going to be easy, but you have to take that first step, and all the other steps will be easier after that. Okay, so we've talked about addictions. We've talked about being addicted to people, addicted to anything, because what I said works for whether you're addicted to people or anything else. Let's talk about being addicted to toxicity. This is not the conversation people like to have because it's very true. I feel like a lot of us are addicted to toxicity. I'm not a person that's addicted to toxicity. I think possibly I might have been previously, but I'm not addicted to toxicity now. Like, I will cut you off in a minute if I even feel like you toxic. So let's talk about being addicted to toxicity, being addicted to toxic situations, toxic people, gossip, just all types of things. That's toxic. I think sometimes people get addicted to toxicity because it's a deeper problem within. So, for example, if you grew up in an environment that was toxic, you grew up around women that gossiped a lot. I know in black families, I feel like in black families, when you do something wrong, the first thing your parents or anybody else does is hop on the phone with the rest of the family and tell them, how much of a screw up you are or whatever. That's toxic. And I think if a lot of us grew up seeing that, we get so used to that we grow up in our day-to-day lives dealing with our friends and everybody, and we're addicted to toxic situations, addicted to gossip, addicted to just mess, addicted to people, getting into it with each other and things like that. So my advice to that is that you have to start keeping it real with yourself. I think a lot of people are going to get mad at me for saying this. I feel like a lot of people think more highly of themselves than their behavior demonstrates. What I mean by that is, it's nothing wrong with thinking highly of yourself. In fact, I think everybody should think highly of themselves. However, you cannot think highly of yourself if your behaviors are exhibiting someone that's not of high stature. Meaning, if you walk around gossiping about people, if you never want to take accountability for being wrong when you know you're wrong, those are things that you have to be honest with yourself about in order to not become addicted to toxic behavior and learn how to let it go. And I think a lot of times people don't want to do the work. They want that people think that if they say enough affirmations, then that means that their life's going to automatically change. And it's not. It's not. Affirmations is just the first step. You have to put action behind whatever it is you're saying. Otherwise, it's just words. And I think a lot of times, especially in that day and age of social media, you got everybody thinking that, all you have to do is say this and you will be positive, or say, no, that's not true. Although positive affirmation does a lot to kind of recalibrate your mind, it's going to take more than that for you to let certain things go that you need to let go of. It's going to take your effort in order to let it go. And if you're not ready to put that effort forward, then you won't be able to let it go. So my advice to that is to keep it super real with yourself, y'all. You got to keep it a beam with yourself. Be real about how you really are. Stop hiding from yourself, because you're only hindering your own growth by not admitting that there may be some traits that you have within yourself that you need to let go of. So you have a choice. Are you ready to be honest with yourself, or do you want to continue living life ignoring the fact that you may not ever grow because you don't want to let go of certain things? It's up to you. Okay, guys, we've talked about addictions. We've talked about not being able to let go of toxicity, not being able to let go of addictions. I think that by letting things go, you will see your true potential. And I'm going to tell you, that was hard for me for so many years, because I'm definitely a family-oriented person. But I had to start learning that family is not always blood. I have people that are around me right now that feel more like family and make me feel more welcome than I've ever felt in my own family. But I had to make that decision to let that family go in order to find my true family. That may not be everybody's situation, but it was definitely mine. I didn't feel right with the people that I was around. So I knew that I had to let it go in order for a change to happen. And I did, and it worked out. Anytime that you put forth effort to make a change, it will always work out. You just have to let go of that fear of different and start embracing the different and letting go of the same monotonous thing that you're used to. So that's all I got, y'all. That's all I got. I hope that anything in this, something in this video touched you. I hope it did. I hope I'm able to help you let go of some things that you may not be ready to let go of, but it may be time to let go of. And I just want to send everybody positivity, and I hope that whatever you're going through out there, that you are able to overcome it. And if you're not, DM me. I got you. I got some advice for you, you know. I also have an app that I'm working on now that you guys will be able to send me anonymous questions, and I'll be able to send you advice about it, and you won't have to reveal who you are. So I think that's a great idea, especially for people who don't feel like they have anybody to talk to. So that's all, y'all. I'm out of breath. I gotta go. I will see y'all in episode 9, and take care.